Good afternoon, viewers. Happy Independence Week and happy Constitutional Week from all of us at the Women's Show and the Center for Constitutional Governance. As Uganda marks 63 years since independence, we pause to reflect not just on the nation's political journey, but on the place of women within it. From the early days of political parties in the 1960s, when the UPC and the Democratic Party dominated the scene, to the turbulent years of regime changes into the era of NRM and multi-party democracy, women have walked alongside the nation's struggles for stability, representation, and justice. But have Uganda's political manifestos, those promises that shape our nation's direction every election season, truly reflected women's voices, needs, and aspirations? Or have women been used merely as a constituency to be courted rather than empowered as equal partners in nation building? In today's show, we'll be talking about political party manifestos and the place of women 63 years after independence. In that, we'll be looking at the historical context, manifesto promises versus the policy reality, women as voters and leaders, and the way ahead, of course. I'll introduce my panelists, starting from my extreme left, coming in. Today in the house, we have Shalom Nachiza Ainembabazi. She's the founder of Afrique Center for Sustainable Community Development. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Nancy, and good afternoon to our dear viewers. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you very much. And then we have Gloria Kamayanji, the founder of Kamayanji Gloria Foundation. Welcome to the show, Gloria.
Thank you, Nancy. Good afternoon, viewers. I'm happy to be here again to discuss women affairs.
Thank you. And we have Nana Namata Mwafrika. Nana, welcome to the show and congratulations upon getting the PFF flag for the woman MP aspirant of Kampala district.
Thank you, dear viewers. I'm always fortunate to find fellow ladies here and we talk. Thank you, Nancy Ayot. We hope you enjoy the view.
Yes, so we will of course ask the questions on women's, on when women's issues made it to the manifestos meaningfully and why the same promises reappear every election season. But to begin the conversation, Gloria. Should I start with you?
Please, feel free.
Yes. So, Gloria, you've had the privilege of looking at the different manifestos that have been presented by the different presidential candidates. What stood out for you in terms of women empowerment and inclusivity?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, viewers, once again. I'm happy to be here to discuss such matters that affect all of us, both women, youth, and other people in the society. The women affairs have been in the public domain for quite some time. The rise of a woman, both in education and politics, and then the agenda for the affairs of women. We have got very many political presidential aspirants, and all of them have their manifestos which talk about women affairs. And these are not the first time that women are being advanced in the manifestos. It has happened before, and is happening, and it will continue to happen. But what are we saying? Women, we are the majority, according to the National Housing and Population Census report that was released recently. Having the numbers, everyone looks at us as voters in this case, and everyone wants to win our vote on their side. So advancing the women affairs or talking about women, what they are going to do for them, and what comes out in all is that all of them, all the manifestos, I've not looked at so many, but at least 3 of them, they all talk about women empowerment, the circles for women, women in business, women in education. These are not the first time. It's not the first time that women come out predominantly in these manifestos. Unfortunately, less has been done, especially when I talk about other presidential aspirants other than the sitting president. Of course, when we look at the sitting president, the issue of women has been at his forefront. When you look at the programs for women that have come up, they grow, and the PDM now, all those programs, they are geared towards improving the welfare of women and also giving them space to exercise their political and social rights. Women have been given a chance to lead. When you look at the current cabinet, for instance, which is full of women, when you look at other positions of leadership and other positions in key government institutions, they all give women spaces to lead, and they are really shown good examples. For the young girls, they are also part of the women, and they are also being talked about. The women, we have very many categories of women. The women, they are these young women. They are neither a youth nor mothers. So there is that category, and that is the majority, especially the rural one. I have gotten a chance to move in my district where I come from, where I was contesting for District Woman MP. And what is shockingly interesting is that there are very, very many young women, young mothers who are in these homes. You look at them, they really need help. I wish these manifestos can address the real woman in the village, the one who wakes up in the morning and goes to dig, the one who is being brutalized by this husband. You know, we have had very many issues of domestic violence being orchestrated by the men. Although these days there is also a cry from men that they are also being brutalized. Actually, I'm thinking of starting a movement to protect these married men, because they are also crying and they have nowhere to report to. Most of them have died in silence. Most of them have fled their homes. Most of them, they are thinking they have committed suicide, and others are running away. So we need to think about these men who are being brutalized by women. Today morning we had a discussion on our chat room, and that is the issue that we were all discussing about. So I was telling one of my friends that now when a wife brutalizes you, just take a leave for a month and you return. He said, no, I cannot return because I will find when these bastard guys have already ascended on her, and she will brutalize me the more. So much as we have been given space as women, we should not waste, we should not take this space for granted. We should use it productively. We should use it to educate our children. We should use it to be examples in society. I usually look at these, the spaces that we have been given before in education, in politics. Every district is given a quota of woman representation. And this woman has not done a lot. And this woman has empowered herself instead of empowering other people. It really, really annoys me, and I will continue talking about it because it is my passion to have the people down, the voters, actually have a feel of the representation. We don't want to see women representatives coming back after 5 years with bags of money, going back in the communities to buy these voters at a cost of 1,000, 2,000. It's really, really annoying. So if all the presidential candidates can focus on addressing the issues that affect women directly, then we shall have a better society to live in.
Thank you so much, Gloria. I was about to stop you because you were preempting the rest of our conversation.
Exactly.
So, Nana, I will now invite you to the conversation. Let's talk about our historical context as women, right? How have we shaped visibility and participation in politics over the years?
The recognition of women on the political scene in Uganda, I think, really gets serious after the 1995 Constitution.
Yeah.
There is many beautiful rights for women cited in our Constitution, except sadly a lot of it remains buzz lines. Empower women, keep them free from discrimination. Women shall have equal rights to, owning property, nationality. A lot of it, indeed, when you read it, in reading, it sounds very, very beautiful. Sadly, in reality, women remain on the bottom of a very, very rough pyramid. Women and girls suffer. Let's talk, I live in the city. The city context is that there is a very, very alarming rate of urban poverty. Women and youth disproportionately affected. So for me, I think that what has to be done, especially by women like me aspiring to lead women, we must really not just remain vocal on these rights and expectations and aspirations of women, but lead by example. If I am today, I'm a businesswoman, for example, I'm a rights defender, so really I'm at the center of this topic every day. I see women, she mentioned something like grow, she mentioned something like the president really trying to steer the wheel in the direction of women rights and empowerment. It is unfortunately not enough to just keep speaking these things, giving statistics that are nearly, just doctored or manufactured. The grow loan, for example, this is usually like World Bank money. We all saw the scandals on social media, women asking who actually touched this money. So we saw a scandal on, was it Heroes Day, or there was a big day of this government. And one lady in Chankwanzi, she's called Mama Janet, that's her political name. She stood in front of the president and told him, look, Museveni, these things you talk of, PDM, that woman, she's a Chankwanzi lady, very vocal.
Very
She said, look, Mr. President, this money you're talking about, she was very clear in Uganda. The president goes, what about PDM? So don't even talk. So while the will might be there to advance women causes, I think that there are gaps in the practical things to be done. There are a lot of gaps. Women that are given power, for example, we have a lot of powerful women, yes. Like my sister said. The number of women in power has grown over the years. The power, for me, I usually find this power empty. I find it empty. We have powerful women in the law, we have them in the judiciary, we have them indeed in lawmaking, in parliament. But when you look at the plight of the woman, look at women, this chance of my showing up on the political scene, this 2025, 2031, I am learning so much more. I thought I knew about women suffering. Oh my God. I have moved in communities, a few communities in Kampala, Kisenyi, the ghettos of, you see, Kampala, about 70% people live in what you can call the ghetto. The very informal settlements, it's called what? It's not suburbs, it's, there is another word for it. They live in slums. If you see the life of the women in these settlements, very informal. I was fortunate to visit some women in Kisenyi, Kakajo zone, after a fire gutted a structure where about 100 people called home. But looking at the structure and what was being put back, Kalitusi trees and Bibati, and this is home to 100 people with children, men. The scale of urban poverty is alarming. What we read in the books comforts us. You see, women, these rates are in business. Access to finance for women to use in business. It's also tug of war. A lot is asked, land titles, this. And yet when the banks advertise the monies, some of the money indeed coming directly from from the West to advance women's lives, when you find the things needed for someone to qualify, you would be alarmed at what's expected of the urban poor in this city. I am glad now that my head is out to be a leader at one of the highest platforms, a woman, a member of parliament for Kampala City, all the 5 divisions. It's teaching me a lot way before I even go quarter way of, before even the campaign start officially. I am learning that indeed a lot needs to be done. The girls, many girls dropped out of school around COVID time. And this thing was purely ignored. We had the local school, the local curriculum children sit home for nearly 2 years. The area where I live, there are a few international schools that were open after a little period of COVID. These schools operated. I lived near schools that I can't mention, and they were open. But the child in the local curriculum school stayed home. The girls dropped out of school. Some joined informal work. Many of our daughters are sitting in mommy's shop, daddy's stall in the market selling mangoes. They just never went back to school, and somehow the statistics were lost there. It was presumed that all girls rejoined school. Many got pregnant, the idle time of staying around homes, relatives, houseboys. So there is, as they say today in the local language, kuground bilalamu. What we have in the books is largely cosmetic. We have we have the women's movement, which gladly I'm remotely associated with. When you see the effort these women put in, the different organizations, I think we have thousands of organizations whose titles and names have the word women, woman, girl. It's either empowerment or pads or education or what. But when you wait for the result in, and I'm not even going to the villages yet, the cities, urban poverty, that the girls have a period and there are no pads. Girls have qualified to enter university and they just have to opt to join mommy in an informal business because the money isn't there. Women can't just be the women that are in our communities. There are women in communities that are closed from us, prison. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because I learned a lot, I went to prison. Not for theft or beating up anybody, but I stood up among other young women to call out corruption last year, 2024, around June. In fact, I went to prison 1 week after my birthday. So What I saw in the prisons about women, oh my God, it was
How long
appalling.
How long were you there?
I was there 1 week. I entered that prison bus healthy. I was presented before the judge, healthy, loud woman. When I came out, I couldn't speak. I was dehydrated. My feet were swollen. Like, the situation I saw in prison alarmed me. The right to all this protection, discrimination, and whatever in prison, it's non-existent. The women didn't have water to shower. Water was opened for like 30 minutes at 6:30 and quickly it disappeared. So if you didn't have the strength to push and just pick a little in the cup, you were gone. When I left prison last year, that must have been 1st August, I went 25th July, I shared what I witnessed, what I was a part of for a full week. I am glad that just a few days I was reading the Human Rights Report for 2025. Some of the things mentioned to them, there are recommendations given. I did get feedback that after I left, personally when I went to the prison, I was given one dress. It was torn from this end to that end. And when you go, you're supposed to tear off your bra and everything. So I was wearing a sack-like thing, torn, and it had blood of another woman.
Sad.
But this is what I was presented to put on. And you're naked. You can't say no. The orders are you put it on. To the ward where we got locked every 3 p.m. in the day. 3, a bell rings and you must enter. You either sleep or stay there making noise, or you're coughing into each other. There was a body-to-body, skin-to-skin situation of sleeping. The sleeping arrangement. Like insane packed ward 1 and ward 2. You are here, you're breathing like this, your breath is going on another woman's skin and another and another. I left coughing, most women were coughing. Women would try to access the health facility in the prison and they would come back and say either the nurse wasn't there or she had closed a little for lunch, or if she was there, there wasn't enough medicine, they would have 2 Panadol tablets. So I shared some of these experiences to chair of Human Rights Commission and high inspectors. Gladly I got some feedback that some people that went to prison after me, some activists said, Nana, you did some good work. We were presented 2 clean dresses on arrival, a packet of pads, soap, a shaver and knickers. And for me, I thought in my head, I asked them, I joked because even the prison warders were there. I had visited the prison again. They said, Nana, we are here, but something has improved. I said, I hope they didn't just give it to you because you are activists who they suspect might talk about it. But yes, talking about women's rights, we can't just limit it to women that are out and free, women that drive. Let's think very much about the women in the ghettos, the women in the prisons. A lot needs to be done. People get sent to prison to wait for their plight if they are guilty or not. People get sent to prison for correction. You don't correct people by taking away their every human right.
Thank you very much, Nana. And I know that you actually delved into more than we had expected you to delve into. So thank you very much. Shalom. Now, to bring you to the conversation, we I want to ask, why do political parties repeat the same song every single time, especially in terms of women empowerment? Why is it that Women's Manifesto every 5 years reads the same things? Healthcare, that we need more money in healthcare, that we need more money in education, that we need support against gender-based violence and all that. Why do you believe that this is a continuous song that does not genuinely reflect in numbers? Because, usually I argue with, with the people who do numbers, because I feel like when the numbers grow, for example, when the number of women have grown this much, you cannot say that from, say, 1986 to now, there's been an improvement of 20%, and yet the population has surged to a very large number. Why do you think this continues, even with the modern age and with women occupying all these positions?
Good afternoon, dear viewers and my colleagues, my fellow panelists. It's a pleasure being here once again, and it's a very passionate subject, and actually that is evident. I participated in the NRM primary elections, and to be more specific, for a position of a woman member of parliament. So that shows that I'm very passionate about women.
Oh,
Yes, Bulisa district. Very passionate about women. These are subjects that tickle me a bit, you know. And for me, I will try to take us back to the history of Uganda. Uganda as a British protectorate, and then here when we start to get independence, and of course, as I'm talking about this history, I want us to think about the position of women in the different governments. NRM is not the first government that we've had as a country, so we have to look at the different governments that Uganda has had. Nine of them, NRM being the ninth. Yeah, so we have where Obote was president, then Edward Mutesa from the 1962 to 1966, and then Apollo Milton Obote from 1966 to 1971, Idi Amin Dada from 1971 to 1979, Yusuf Lule. To cut the story short, Tito Okello Lutwa, 1985 to 1986, which brings us to the NRA capturing power. And so I want us to look at the position of women, both in leadership and every other aspect, how it was like, and then that will help us to weigh where our place is as women currently. In the past governments, women were just looked at as, they did more of supportive roles. They did more of social welfare. They were just there to support, add on. They were just there to add on, but not to be part of the decision making, and then also to be on those tables, to be legislators. And the very first woman that we see came in the 1954, who in the legislative council, Legico.
Yes.
And that one was a white meanwhile. Yeah. So that shows you that as African women, we were far there.
We were at the bottom.
Yes,
of the
at the
chain.
bottom, not thought about at all. So, and then in the 1956, we see a representation of a woman, Pamela Kisoso-Onkole, who also went ahead and represented Ugandan women at the international scene and became the president of the International Council of Women between 1959 and 1962. So that is the first one. Yeah, I want us to move together and see how we move until now. So in the 1962, then we see Florence Alice Lubega, the very first woman member of parliament.
Wow.
Very first.
Lubega.
Yeah. Very first woman member of parliament in the cabinet, which was predominantly, largely occupied by men. So, for Amini's government, meanwhile, women were nowhere. Yeah? Nowhere at all.
point of information.
Yeah.
And,
A little bit.
don't interrupt me. Just write it down. You will come in after I've spoken. If you want to inform me and have tickled you to say something, right?
I will in fact quote him.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying. You see, the subject of the position of women is not partisan. It is how far we've come, the journey, how we've journeyed through the different governments to reach where we've reached today. In the 1979, of course, we start to see CEDAW, you know, the universal, the international bills talking about the rights of women. And yeah, Uganda, that's how Uganda starts to come in. And of course, this required that all eliminations, all forms of discrimination against women stop. So that's how Uganda comes in the picture in terms of improving the women's agenda and empowerment and emancipation. And so all along, I should say, in the history of this country, there are a few issues that have kept women back. And one of those was education was, and is still,
Yes.
but it's not compared to how it was previously. Financial inclusion, education, rights to own property, and unemployment. Yes. And so I would love us to really appreciate the fact that we've come a long way. And we, you know, I'm NRM, and I'll proudly say that as the NRM under NRA stroke, which was NRA then, and now movement, women have moved a certain level. For example, looking at our parliament right now, and which has 556 members, and 189 are women, which is a percentage of, let's say, 34%. Not good, of course. We would want to see 50-50, yes.
Yeah.
That would make us happy as women.
Yes.
To know that we are represented and well represented. Yeah, so that's where we are. And then also in the local councils right now, there were provisions in the 1995 Constitution to make sure that, of course, which happened when Museveni came to power. We can't ignore that. We can't.
When he captured
We
power.
captured power, yes.
Capture.
He captured power, yes. So we see that there was a provision to make sure that a third of the representation are women. And currently we have a representation of 45% of local councils who are women, representing women. Yeah, so I'll speak until the end of the day, but the truth is, looking at the different opportunities that have been given to women, to see that we now have vice presidents that are women, to see that we have a speaker who is a woman, to see that we have different women go to school. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I am a product of the universal education. Primary education. Yes, I did my primary school from Bulisa, from a school called Bugoigo Primary School. You know, I love Bulisa so much, so I proudly...
Because of oil.
Not really, because that's where my story began.
Just to stand near
That's
the
where my
oil.
story began. I mean, I was born, grew up, and was raised in Bulisa. So I went to a universal primary education school. I made it. Went to secondary, and still did my secondary education, to be more specific, A level, in a universal secondary school, and I excelled. Went ahead and got government sponsorship to Makerere University. Yeah.
Mama.
You get me? So I am a product of affirmative action. I am a product of the different reforms that came in place as a result of the NRM government. And I appreciate that. Of course, if I hadn't, I wouldn't have made it, because just like many other girls, I won't ignore the fact that many actually fail to make it, because in my class, for instance, if I am to do a follow-up to date, many of my fellow girls didn't actually make it to university. They dropped off. Some got married, early pregnancies. And then there were a few cases of those that are not able to raise not school fees, but basic requirements, books, pens, uniforms. We usually saw some being chased. Thank God for us, we're able to actually, our parents were able to afford and enable us to go to school. So affirmative action has done a great job. I know that we have challenges here and there. Of course, some drop out because they're not able to afford. And then also, many don't make it to the universities. Yeah, but also, through affirmative action still, we have a very big number of women graduating from university as compared to men. Yes, 54%, I should say, of women graduating from school, from university, compared to men. So to talk about manifestos, we have to see how the different governments tried so hard to see that they bring women into the picture, empower them, give them the opportunity to lead. That's all I can say for now, because I will speak until the end of the day.
Thank you very much, Shalom. And you know, this is why I said I have a problem with numbers. Women, ideally, are more than men. So it is only right that more women graduate.
Exactly.
No, surprisingly, at the graduation point, women become few compared to the men.
Yes. To the men.
So we don't know where these women go.
The unique challenges that they
sure.
find on the way.
Sure.
So, you know, now we are diving into it.
You asked me a question, I didn't answer, but we'll get there. I didn't answer, but I found it very important to actually give this history, so that we know how we...
But it somehow certainly answers the question?
It does.
Okay.
Of course it does.
Okay.
But maybe to add on, we've had challenges as a government. You know, we cannot ignore the political history of Uganda. And so usually when a certain president came into power, they were trying to solve certain problems, economic issues, they were trying to look at security, they were trying to look at many other things, and women were not. We had many more challenges that we were ignored, and the whole focus was put on to ensuring that the country is stable, because we had many civil wars. Yeah. So I should say that, over time, because of our economic challenges and how we've been moving as a country, I think there has been a challenge of economic prioritization of issues that actually touch women. Let's say maternal health. Let's say I'm very passionate about sexual reproductive health, and so you see that maybe issues, let's say, we would all want to see women getting, primary girls getting pads from the government, because many actually drop out of school because of that, you know. Yeah, but maybe shortage of resources and funds, given our history. Thank you so much. That's what I have to say right now.
So, Gloria, I want us to discuss a unique question, yes? Because we've had powerful women come to the scene in this country. Some of them not part of the government. We've seen women push unique agendas. And I think one of the most quoted women is Beatrice Anua before with Mavira and climate change. She was a big force in that movement. And she even earned the name Mama Mavira because of that. And we also have Rebecca Kadaga, who for many years influenced the politics of Busoga, whether we like to admit it or not. So how can women even from their disadvantaged point, negotiate for power, especially in terms of important things like menstrual equity, like our girls in school getting pads, because that is a basic need. Menstruation is not optional. It's, you can't skip it, and when you skip it, you know there is a problem. So how can we leverage even from a position that is disadvantaged?
Thank you so much, viewers. I always have a disagreement with this term called affirmative action. For how long will this affirmative action last? In countries like Ghana, they don't have affirmative action. And surprisingly, the number of women in parliament are almost equal to the number of men. So you wonder why this affirmative action is still being advanced up to now. You've asked a very big question about menstrual issues. It's not an option. No one can jump it unless you were cast by God from your childhood. And there's also something that we don't talk about called menopause.
Oh, yeah.
It has actually caused a lot of havoc in families. I'll talk about it briefly.
Yes, please.
And I think this, you have had my friend here, you are in the women movement, even you, we need to seriously talk about the issues of menopause. But when I come back to the women and their affirmative action, we've had this affirmative action for long. We are the first women to benefit from this affirmative action. In parliament, up now, some of them are still there. You cannot see anyone advancing for a higher position, either for presidency or to go and tussle it out with men. We've seen some women, young women, they go for constituency MPs and they win. This is what I want to see happening in most of our ladies.
The direct seats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we want to change the mindset of the citizens that these direct seats are for men. When you attempt to contest for this county, they will tell you, no, you are coming to the seat of
for
women.
men. Yeah,
so
yes.
please go to your seat. What yours is, we want to change this mindset. And I'm happy.
Not to interrupt you, actually, we only have 16 members of parliament who are women direct, yes.
These are very few. I want to see someone who has been in parliament 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. In the next elections, you come and contest as a president of this country. I'm even annoyed that among the six
we had got
or eight contestants for presidency, we don't have
this time we have none.
We don't have a woman. And I want to see serious women, not these ones who just come and start shouting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but Mama, you see, majority of them were independents. Maybe also this
I want
brings
to
her
see
to
serious women, not these women. I want to see those serious women from your position where you are currently holding to another level as a president. Or from a woman member of parliament to now a directly elected MP. That's when we shall, everyone we shall be pointing at, this one, you see, this one was this, now she's this. Now I'm happy that we have one in Ntungam. Honorable Naomi Kabashara contested with a very giant man, and she defeated him. And when one also tried to contest in Urhama, Honorable Beatrice Rwachman, people had started pointing fingers at her. Go back to your women, you have left your women's seat, now you are coming to disturb women. So we actually reminded them, even when I was contesting, if whenever I would read that comment, go back to
the
women's seat, I would immediately comment, because that is also undermining women.
Yes.
I would tell them, no, this is not a men's seat. It is for all. Whether a woman, we give an example, Honorable Paula, one time she stood with the Honorable Mondo Kagonyara, a professor, and she defeated that gentleman. The other one defeated this. So until we changed the mindset of the people, and actually she had gotten a flag. Oh, but you know the things of tribunal now, I see it has gone to another person. But what are we looking at? We are looking at empowering the local woman, the voters actually. We want to see these people inspire us, inspire the young women coming up, the upcoming politicians, the school children, that they look up to you and say, no, I can also make it. If this one has done this, I can also do this. I can also do it. So that's why I want to go. And then I want to see women also advancing the issue of a girl child. A girl child, we have said women or girls are majority according to the population census. They are majority. Even in school, when you start, at the end of school, they are the majority. They go to P7, they reduce. They go to senior 4, they reduce. By the time they enter university, they would have reduced further. So this is where the problem is. The problem is that we are lacking support. There is no support for these young girls, especially in rural schools. The urban poor who do not afford sanitary pads, who do not afford water in these many schools in our setting, they don't have water. They don't even have rooms where these girls can go and change their pads. The matrons, the senior women, they are all there, but they have lost responsibility, or they even don't know. You are just there, you are just named the senior woman, but is there a program?
Even the hygiene alone.
Is there a program of Ministry of Education to train these senior women on how to handle these girls while in school?
Laura, can I just interrupt a little bit?
Yes.
You talked about rural girls and the urban poor. Wouldn't you say that they're the people that target say group for things like affirmative action?
Yes, giving you affirmative action doesn't mean to take you to education. Affirmative action can actually be giving you pads.
Education is
you
already your
special
right.
attention. That is the affirmative action we can look at. When I talk about these rural schools and then urban poor, I'm being segregative a bit, but why I'm doing that is because some of the schools in Kampala here, the parents can afford. But look at the person, a girl from Katenga Primary School where I went for my primary 7. These girls have dropped out of school. Once a girl starts her menses and there is nothing to help her, trust me, that girl will go to school, sit in class. They call it stamping. The girl stamps. The boys and other girls will laugh at her. The following day she will
Tomorrow
not come
she will
back.
hide.
She's not okay. We want to see Ministry of Education come out, train these senior women. Talk to senior women will also take these girls. When I was in primary school, we had a senior woman who would talk to us. You see, she would call us every Friday. We had a girl talk. This senior woman will tell us, you know, a girl is supposed to walk like this, like this. If you meet a group of girls who finished from that primary school, you will know that these ones were trained by so and so. I want to see that happen. You go to schools. How many schools have incinerators for burning these parts? They keep throwing
Piling
everywhere. They
bathrooms.
pile from in the dustbins, in the pit latrines, and these pit latrines, they get filled up very fast. They don't. Schools don't have mechanism to empty them. You know, it's really nasty. One time when I was campaigning, I reached somewhere last year actually. I reached somewhere they were going to sit their exams. They were sitting their exams, and the boys' dormitory was full. The girls' dormitory had collapsed. These people were doing their exams. So when we were attending a burial, and someone said, the MC said, Honorable, we want your help. our pupils have been doing exams, but we've been telling them, leave your homes early in the morning and come here and sit your exams. After our first paper, you go and ease yourselves, then you come back for another paper in the afternoon. It means if you got a problem within the examination period, you have nowhere to go. No wonder that school doesn't power, that area, its education is still very, very below the average.
Yeah.
Because of such circumstances. I had to pull money because I was campaigning and I didn't have money. But because I was so touched, I had to pull money. So I first sat with the school management and some parents. We agreed on how we are going to handle that situation. It was horrifying. It was terrible. You people, our rural settings are going through a lot. And these are our voters. They are the majority voters. They are the majority supporters of this government. I wish President Museveni can hear the cry of these people. You may ask me, hey, when I talk about Ntungamo, you people think we...
You were the first district.
You
are enjoying.
The heavens. No.
You arrived.
No, if we don't talk about these issues, then we are deceiving ourselves. We are actually enemies of progress. There is a very, very big challenge. I want to see the girl leave home. You know, the young girls cannot estimate the days that they are going to have their menses. Something happens when you are in class and you stamp. How are you going to be helped? How are we going to sensitize and create awareness among other students that A, B, C, D can happen? When it happens, this is normal, and you don't laugh at this. We want to create this empowerment so that these girls, even if I stamp, like if I stamped now, I can walk comfortably, go out, clean myself, and come back, and no one, none of you will talk about it. But these young girls, the teachers, do they understand the plight of these young girls? Now, let me come back to menopause. Menopause has posed a very great challenge in our families. Many people don't know, and it has caused a family breakdown. When a woman reaches a menopause stage, you know, the sex urge reduces. As it reduces, the man is on his peak. Now you separate beds. When you separate beds, the man now starts harassing the woman. Now, in our previous cultural settings, whenever a woman would reach a certain level, he would tell the husband, you know, I can no longer handle, get someone younger to help you. This has since ceased. It cannot happen. Now what happens again? When a man starts hunting for someone, the woman connives with the children, they start harassing the man. All is brought by menopause. We need to manage this menopause period seriously, otherwise it is causing trouble in our families.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Thank you, Gloria. And I would like to bring Nana back to the conversation. Yes, Nana, as a woman in a political party.
Yes, at PFF, we believe in freedom and freedom for all.
Yes, they're also in political parties.
And our manifesto actually...
Me and her, we are in here.
In a realm. we are going to challenge you until we overhaul things for the best.
You are actually an alternative government. That's why you are here.
So, Nana, as a person from a political party, when these discussions are on board, how is it that the women's agenda does not come out clearly in for example the manifestos? Because we know that women from political parties are also consulted during the making of the women's manifesto by the women's movement. So what takes place behind closed doors? What tough negotiation is there that it is almost women come out sweating when they get something into the booklet? Yes.
Yes. At PFF, in our constitution to start with, it is said that participation of women shall be given a lot of emphasis. At no point are we going to have women presence that's below 40%. Anyway, in politics in general, women, there are challenges. There has been an advancement, like they say, except for me, to me, the power still remains empty. It's like we are being used as a statistic to vote. They know we have numbers. They know we are easy to, to carve into a church group, market group. All these campaigns being done in the markets, you'll hear the women group in the market. It's women, the church, all these big churches.
And by the way, when women love you, they vote for you overwhelmingly.
Women
get so personal when it comes to
you ladies, these NRM ladies should not, I let them speak.
Thank you. Sorry.
Women are being blackmailed to love. When women love you, they'll vote for you. The women are blackmailed. Women are not loving this, let's agree. There is a serious challenge. Women empowerment. I said the words are remaining on paper. Protecting women from violence. It's so much on the paper. It feels so nice reading it. You go to these different institutions, protect the woman, but on the ground, ku level ya wansi biralamu. Biralamu, we must work hard. You the NRM ladies. Me from PFF, the other political parties, the other formations. Omuchala are used today. We are largely used. Actually, the word women works in the back.
Nana, I'm an NRM person and actually passionate about my party. But when it comes to issues that affect all, women, affect youth, I don't have a party. I speak what is not true. Because
you dwelled a bit on, for example, menstrual hygiene, menstrual health and hygiene. There was a time President, His Excellency Museveni, promised parents and their daughters, this was the last Kisanja but one, if you vote me, the girls will have pads. 4 years into the term that they gave him, we are assuming they really even voted him.
Parliament did not remind him.
No, they were reminded. The wife on the floor of Parliament said there wasn't a budget for that.
Yes, they said it at the beginning.
But the primaries of NRM recently, there is money in sacks. You people, because my sister there said maybe sometimes the budget, it's not enough. There is so much to do everything else and not paper, cotton light.
I mentioned priority. My sister.
It's it's a priority that women are healthy, that menstrual hygiene. My sister also talked about menopause. Past menopause, we have older women. When we talk about women, there's young women, there are the girls, middle-aged women, there are youth, but we also have the very old women. I have a grandmother, for example. My grandmother or other grandmothers need diapers. Diapers are overly taxed. When you think of, we are talking, what's the word? What's the buzzword? The rhetoric, the common word used. Women, I lose the word. Not emancipation, it will come. When it's all talked about in the line of the woman, we forget the oldest women need also protection. The things they use are very expensive. There aren't enough young people that are available all the time to take care of these elderly people. In the Western world, elsewhere in the world, they take old people maybe to centers where hired people are paid to take care of them. But in the villages where we come from, our grandmothers, we are all busy in the cities, we are busy, people are busy with universities, people have gone off to their marriages. These old people who have a small budget in this government, is it 20,000 a month or something?
25,000.
25,000 to the old woman.
80 years.
Which 80 years. This old woman can't even, if she could still help herself go to the garden, she would use the 20 herself to buy maybe salt. But she's immobile probably. Her diaper a week costs 100 and maybe 40,000. So let's care about all categories of women, the young, the middle-aged, the youth, the what. When we talk about empowerment, as a woman, of course, that's getting into the political scene, for me, I'm thinking that there is very serious need to advocate and follow through. Don't just advocate. Don't just be seen on the floor of parliament talking women, girls. Let there be community settings. Let there be, there used to be inspectors of schools and what. Can we have people inspecting these women groups to see how the women are faring? Can we have, if there is a grant that caters for women to go borrow money for business, can there be some people to follow up and see how are they faring? Did the loan work for them? Did the disaster hit and the birds died, the chicken or the goats? Follow up on things is still a big issue. There needs to be a push for policies that really protect women's rights and also see that it comes off paper. It is done. Prisons are visited and inspected. Schools are inspected. Hospitals. Recently, the Prime Minister, in reaction to a young journalist's challenge to President Museveni, she took to Mukono, to a hospital in Mukono. In her own words, she agreed that it was overly filled. Hospitals are dangerously congested with a very small staffing. Doctors, nurses, having limited resources to use. So rights of women, including access to reproductive health, protection from gender-based violence, desks where we can report issues of violence and we are heard, the norms, the unjust norms where if you have suffered, for example, sexual violence, to speak about it, you're the mad one. You have people whispering, hey, these things happen, you keep quiet. How does an old woman go and say she was raped? There is rape ongoing in these institutions.
Early marriages.
The early marriages, but leave the marriages, maybe the parents out of poverty are pushed into giving their girls into marriage. There is consent of some form. Wrong as it is, there might be consent. Pushed by probably poverty, the kids are out of school, these girls. But violence, particularly of sexual nature, is happening in universities, in secondary schools. Women are pressured to, for their bodies to be abused for exchange of marks, exchange of, taking a rank in the forces, taking a rank, a step in jobs. So indeed, also there is need to support women-led businesses. The microfinance banks, institutions and everything, the things needed by any woman to access any small cash to inject in a poultry business or goat farming or gardening, they are sometimes impossible for many women. There needs to be a thinking on that. We cannot develop, we cannot empower any woman and have gender equality when women cannot access a fund to do the simplest of businesses. There must be focus on creating jobs, technology, agriculture, tourism. We are lucky that we have, we still are not very big cities, that there is no land to cultivate. Even urban farming is possible. Women in these towns, if they are well trained, they can each have a backyard poultry setting, the children can have an egg before they go to school. So economic development, there needs to be focus on things promoting training, vocational training, youth groups, support the SMEs, ensure economic policies are inclusive and that they benefit all residents, especially those in informal settlements. I will repeat the word urban poverty. It's finishing people. My sister said something that may mean that the girls in the schools in villages are the ones suffering the most. Urban poverty, the poor in these cities, the poor in this Kampala, and they are the biggest number. Their children cannot afford the pads as well. This is not a village girl school thing. Even the girls in the city here.
I said village
and urban, yes, yes. But what's happening now in the cities, it's an overflow of problems. It's too much. There are informal settlements. They share a room. There are 4 boys. There are 3 girls. The father is there. The cousin is there. There are many issues that need to be looked at. Infrastructure and broken roads. Yes. All these things hurt women the more. All these things that are not going right hurt women the more. Women are the backbone of these communities. Most of the work is done by women. We haven't gone so far in industrialization. Women still have to bend in the bucket and wash clothes for the household. You know, in places where advancement is really a will for the leadership, women should be advancing from having to bend and blow with the mouth into the fire, the firewood. We should have clean energy to use for women to remain healthy. And since you want me to conclude, I lose, of course, some of the points that I intended to say, but the women issue must shift from women becoming important only at the time of elections. In our political parties, we are luckily in the PFF, things are looking promising. We are not discriminated against. We are having equal participation. While in other parties I've heard outcries of people even being abused sexually, you willingly probably accept abuse, looking for a certain interest. We are still doing well in the PFF. We hope that we shall have a women-led revolution to the betterment of our country. We come to a place where we are not blackmailed with this word affirmative action, these phrases, where we thrive, whether there is a man who purports to care about women or not. We shall thrive when everybody thrives, when the systems are better. One last tiny one, as we enter the elections, violence against women, political violence against women. I nearly got abducted trying to access a court for my friend Dr. Kiza Besigye Lutale on beginning of the month. A passers-by who happened to be a lawyer saved me from that. And for me, this causes me to call on our institutions, particularly Uganda Human Rights Commission. We need to partner to see that the election is not, an abusive process to women. Beating us up, Uganda police, please don't think about it. Abductions are on the rise. Please, I'm not saying spare the women and abduct others. Let people stay free. If you abduct a man, it will hurt women. It will hurt his daughters. It will hurt his mother. So let there be peace. Let's aim at a peaceful election. Let's aim at an election where women will not be abused needlessly.
Thank you so much, Nana. Shalom. Now, because everyone has done the call for action and everything, and I feel it's only fair to give you the opportunity. And I need you as the youngest person on the panel,
the youth,
or the second youngest.
youth.
on the panel.
You compete.
Yes. I would like you to let us know what a future of Uganda where young women are included is like, because I know for the past month, one of the biggest outcries in media and in the different civil society organizations, in different situation rooms, was the fact that no youth made it to the presidential, to be a presidential aspirant, and no woman made it to the same race. So what would be your call for action in order for us to improve our status from this moment? Because now we have an issue that is going on, but we have 5 years to make things happen, or even less. What would you recommend?
Beautiful question. 5 years from now, or even the future of Uganda, if women actually given platform. So, like I previously said, there is political will, yeah, in the different political parties, PFF, NRM. There is political will to empower women. It is in the documents, it is in the constitution, it is everywhere, and it's even more beautiful that we have civil society. There are movements, the civil society is pushing for these agendas. Maybe that's why we have we've got where we are now. So as a young woman, I hate to say young. I usually have serious arguments with people when they call me young, because I don't think I am. Mugisha Muntu and very many other, Mugisha Muntu, President Museveni, and very many other, our elders, I should say, did remarkable things at 28, 29, 31. So it's just an illusion. Yeah, so, but the political will is in place. What we want to see as the young people of this country is the actualization.
Very wonderful.
Yeah, because truth to be said, they're in the constitution. Everything is beautiful in there. And of course, there are those that are not there, but majority are. There have been policies in place. We just need to see actualization. We want to see the numbers of dropouts reduce. Yeah, despite the existence of affirmative action, there are still school dropouts because of the poverty levels in our communities that are eating up our people. So obviously, if I'm poor, why would I even start to think about taking a child to school, or a girl child? So Uganda's future is bright, but only if we make sure that all these policies, all these beautiful programs are put into action, and the government resources are invested and are put into use rather than being stolen by thieves. I don't like to, the Bible says that you shall speak the truth and the truth shall set you free. Uganda losing 25 billion to corruption. Is that 25 every day, right? To corruption. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. That
so
money would be
us.
buying pads for the girl child in Bulisa district. That money would be improving the health sector, and handling issues to do with maternal health and very many other things. So we are really doing well, but to get where we think the dream, should I call it the dream, the dream that we all have as Uganda to be a first class, a developed country, we have to see that implementation is actual effect. We want to see efficiency, we want to see effectiveness, we want to see thieves arrested. Thieves, I call them thieves.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because the Bible tells us to speak the truth. They are thieves. So that we can have more money to prioritize some of these urgent and important aspects that we keep talking about, that we are addressing right now, because most of this money actually goes in the wrong direction. But also, I urge the leaders, the women that are in leadership positions, to actually do their responsibilities and role. Let's say, for example, the roles of an MP. Supposed to do oversight, supposed to do follow-up, you do legislation, yes, but you have to, you're basically there to actually watch the government and see and make sure that the government programs are going on well. If it's PDM, like she mentioned, if you are a woman member of parliament for Ntungamo district, go on ground, find out whether the 30% that is in the papers, because in PDM, women are given that percentage of, make sure 30% are women. So do the follow-up, find out whether it's actually true that the 30% is actually doing what? Getting the money. Yeah, there are government programs that are very beautiful, but now the problem comes at implementation. Some of the money is stolen. The programs are not implemented well. Just like this mama that came on and told Muzei, hey, before this money, Muzei, sente wazitwala da.
They make you fill in papers.
Yes, they make you fill in papers. You keep waiting, but you can't get the money. They give the money to the relatives. The people that are not supposed to get the money are the ones
registered in women's
yes, they
names.
get the money. So surely we just need to see that as a country, we get serious about these subjects.
Corruption at all levels.
Corruption.
Embarrassingly, between now and 1 year ago, we had 4 key women in government. 4 very powerful women mentioned in stealing iron sheets for the poor in Karamoja. Mama Nabanja, Anita, who is the girl Nandutu. About 4 key women. Women at such a level.
Nana, you interrupt.
As women, let's do better. You brought me there. You brought me there. You tickled me.
Yeah, so I really want to emphasize, as a young woman in this country, I feel that we moved a step forward, and we are actually moving a step forward. I saw in the NRM Manifesto, President Museveni promises to increase the PDM money. Yeah, so that obviously means that more women will be able to get the money. But if the other stakeholders that are responsible do not play their part to actually make sure that these women are actually getting the money, it is just a story. These are just songs.
Well, I need us to finish this conversation. We are.
But it's still very sweet.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, but
Nancy,
also the politics. As we were speaking, something tickled my mind, and I was wondering, us not having a candidate who is a woman on the ballot, the question that came into my mind: are the women willing to support fellow women?
We are.
That is it.
What is the percentage?
But also poverty. I told you about poverty. The woman who wants to go stand, there are so many factors. The 20 million, the signatures, when she goes for the signatures, the men want a favor.
Ladies, we wrap up. We can continue the
But it was a
conversation.
nice topic.
Yes.
So invite us to speak about the same subject.
Please,
Yes, and we
it's
can-
very broad.
And just like with our audience, I would like to thank all of you for coming and deliberating very meaningfully on this topic, giving your insights.
One more thing.
Just one more thing in a minute.
In this, as we give services to our people, especially in local governments, we need to use data to provide these services. Our departments several departments in local governments, they are limping because they don't have money to reach out. The inspectors of schools don't go to inspect the schools. DEO doesn't go. Health inspector doesn't go. Health educator doesn't go. So who is supposed to deliver service when these people are seated in their offices? The issue is prioritize some of these sectors, give them money, they collect data, data is used to provide these services. Secondly, the women in leadership, do your work, do your work, do your work. Not only ladies, but the leaders, the members of parliament, go back and do your work. Look at these documents that come in parliament. These agencies, they are very funny. When they realize that these MPs don't read, they come with huge books, with the huge volumes, they drop them in front of them, and they go, knowing that they will not
Read them.
They will just sign.
So there is no way a member of parliament can do an oversight role very effectively when you don't know what has been given.
Exactly.
So we need to assert ourselves. The people of Ntunga really missed me being the member of parliament.
Why did you try again?
Bulisa missed me too.
Oh, you were in the recent primaries.
Yes, primaries.
Oh.
Even me.
So, but,
they missed me.
Come to
I
PFF.
believe in matter
But you
of
can
time.
miss even in it.
At one time we shall deliver what we were anticipating to do. But also to those ones, we shall keep telling
The minute
them,
is over.
giving them some tips on how they can perfectly render a service to our community.
Thank you very
As
much.
women, let's lead by example.
Thank you very much, my panelists. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Gloria. And thank you, Shalom, for coming to the show and for these beautiful insights. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the women's perspective on the 2026 presidential manifestos, but also the reflections on all these more than 60 years of independence in Uganda. I am your host, Nancy Caroline Ayot. Keep it Civic Space TV. Like, subscribe, and also share with us your comments. Keep the conversation going. Follow us on social media. Good afternoon.